All right, Shalom. We're the real Hebrew Israelites from a branch of the GMS Indianapolis camp. I'd like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And Shalom to sincere Akim and Akwaf, listening and learning, and to you brothers preaching and teaching this truth through the four corners of the earth. All right. We're just going in on this article. It says, you've been flagged as a threat. Predictive AI technology puts a target on your back. All right. So I'm going to read into it. And then Lord willing will have some precepts to back it up. We'll see, match it up with the scriptures, what's going on. All right. It says, It says before long, every household in America will be similarly flagged and assigned a threat score without having ever knowingly committed a crime or been convicted of one. You and your fellow citizens have likely been assessed for behaviors the government might consider devious, dangerous, or concerning. Assigned a threat score based on your associations, activities, and viewpoints, and cataloged in a government database according to how you should be approached by police and other government agencies based on your particular threat level, which we know through the spirit, they're already, like I say, they're already doing this. All right. Especially this is geared towards what? You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. You of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. All right. This is what this is geared for. Yeah, you might have your white supremacists and your other, quote unquote, radical groups that are out there. But this is really aimed towards you tribes, man.
Precept.
Go ahead with it real quick.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 62, verses 3 and 4. How long will you imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you. As a bowling wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is the Lord talking to Esau, Edom. Right, because ultimately, the scripture goes into how, Esau, Edom, he's the one, is doing all this wickedness in the earth. Right, Micah tells us that warns him that devises iniquity on his bed. Psalms 80, the 83rd chapter, I believe, goes into how Esau, he's him, chiefly Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and these other heathen nations are coming with crafty counsels. As the brother was going into, they'll completely.
For you, I got that on deck. This is Psalms 83. I'll start at verse 2. It says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult." All right, which is a tumult is what? A war cry, right? Mm-hmm. And notice it said, "Thine enemies." All right, so the children of Israel, we have enemies, right? It says, "And they that hate thee have lifted up." It's like you move this. It says, "And they that hate thee have lifted up the head," right? Because they're proud against the children of Israel, right? It says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones," right? All right, so they're ultimately what? Against you 12 tribes of the children of Israel, man. All right, and this is part of the crafty counsel where they're trying to, deem you a threat based off of, your viewpoints or what you watch, how you react, right, in society. All right. Verse 4, it says, "They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Right. And that's their whole goal. They want to keep us, away from our heritage, our true heritage. All right. Mm-hmm. They want to, keep us under their rulership, and keep us going off. All right. That's the whole goal of these nations, because they know once the children of Israel are back in power, there's no more kingdom for them, man. Especially Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. It says, verse 5, "For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee." All right. So they're against the children of Israel. All right. They're all together in one, in like manner. Verse 6, I'm just going to get this real quick. "The tabernacles of Edom," see, the so-called white man, they're the first on the list. All right. And then the Ishmaelites, the Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre. All right. So all these nations have come against, all right, the children of Israel in one consent, man. All right. To be against us. and this is part of it. See, they're all down for this technology, man. You know, so we'll keep going. Did you have more on that precept?
Yeah.
Go
All right.
ahead.
This is back to the book of Psalms, chapter 62 and verse 3. How long we imagine mischief against a man, ye shall be slain all of you. Once again, this is going into Esau Edom. Chiefly Esau Edom, the so-called white man, coming against or coming with crafty counsel, are to take down the children of Israel. All right. It says,
Sorry.
as a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence, because when a fence is tottering, all right, ultimately it's unstable and getting ready to fall. So this is going into Esau Edom and his rulership, or which chiefly takes place in America, right? Because the Lord is coming down to take Esau and his rulership. All right, they're both beginning getting ready to fall, and they're falling as we speak. All right,
That's
verse
right.
4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. And who is that talking about? All right, that's talking about Esau Edom. All right, consulting to cast down Jacob. Are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans from his excellency? And what is your excellency? Your heritage. All right, this truth, the fact that we're Israelites. All right, that's why they're doing everything they can to try to keep the truth from going out. Or, that's why they labeled us different proverbs and bywords, to keep us from our true identity. All right, to keep us from our heritage. All right.
That's
Says they
right.
delight in lies. All right, what's the number one lie, or what are some of the biggest lies? All right, the fact that the people in the land right now, that they're the people of the Lord, they're not the people of the Lord. All right, we know Amalek is over there. All right, that the children of Israel are well, these labels they put on us that we're so-called black, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, and we're none of that. All right, we come from the tribes of Israel. Blacks being Judah, our Hispanics being Issachar, Native Americans being Gad, and so forth and so on. These are labels, right, that have taken us away from our true identity. All right, it says they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly, because ultimately, Esau could come to your face and give you these smooth words, make it seem like he's for your cause, but ultimately he's got a devious plan, right, against the children of Israel. All right, and this is part of it. The article that the brother's going into.
Right, and right, they're gonna do this all in the manner of safety, right? That peace and safety, This is the type of systems they want in place, and people are gonna fall for it, hook, line, and sinker, because well, yeah, that's gonna get the bad people out of here, blah blah blah, the non-compliant people, right? They're gonna be all for it until it what? I'll keep reading. It says it's just a matter of time before you find yourself wrongly accused, investigated, and confronted by police based on a data driven algorithm or risk assessment called together by a computer program run by artificial intelligence. All right. So you see that's Esau's mad scientist program, Hey, they're always trying to, use the computer system to do it to everything, because they want to put themselves as the most high, and I'll get to that later. I'm gonna get through this. I'm not gonna read the whole article, but I'm gonna get a good piece of it, and then Lord willing, I'll remember to put the link in the description box. And this is
I have a precept too.
go ahead.
God, this is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right. Like the brother was going into. All right, we know, this is all part of Esau's plan, because this is really targeted towards the children of Israel. All right, the scriptures go into how Esau shall come down with great wrath. All right, this is one of his ways, because ultimately Esau is trying to hang on to his kingdom as long as he can. Ultimately, he knows in the spirit that he's losing it. All right, but he's going through extreme measures in order to keep it. All right, now this is like what the brother's bringing out, man. This is on a small scale, but we know it's going to get much worse. All right, so the Jake being falsely accused, falsely persecuted. All right, and we know Esau going to get physical with it. All right,
And going into the false accusation, check this out.
mm-hmm.
It says, consider the case of Michael Williams, who spent almost a year in jail for a crime he didn't commit. Williams was behind the wheel when a passing car fired at his vehicle, killing his 25-year-old passenger, Safarian Herring, who had hitched a ride. Despite the fact that Williams had no motive, there were no eyewitnesses to the shooting. No gun was found in the car, and Williams himself drove Herring to the hospital. Police charged the 65-year-old man with first-degree murder based on ShotSpotter, a gunshot detection program that had picked up a loud bang on its network of surveillance microphones and triangulated the noise to correspond with a noiseless security video showing Williams' car driving through an intersection. The case was eventually dismissed for a lack of evidence. And look at that. They don't put that out there because this is one of the first times I've ever heard of ShotSpotter. Microphones on, to detect gunshots. All right. That's the technology they're using right now. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, although gunshot detection program like ShotSpotter are gaining popularity with law enforcement agencies, prosecutors, and courts alike, they are riddled with flaws. Mistaking dumpsters, trucks, motorcycles, helicopters, fireworks, construction, trash pickup, and church bells for gunshots. See, this is a flawed system. As an Associated Press investigation found, the system can miss live gunfire right under its microphones, or misclassify the sound of fireworks or cars backfiring as gunshots. In one community, ShotSpotter worked less than 50% of the time. Then there's the human element of corruption, which invariably gets added to the mix. In some cases, employees have changed sounds detected by the system to say that they are gunshots. Forensic reports prepared by ShotSpotters employees have also been used in court to improper lock you. Slide for that. Employees have been used in court to improperly claim that a defendant shot at police or provide questionable counts of the number of shots allegedly fired by defendants. The same company that owns ShotSpotter also owns a predictive policing program that aims to use gunshot detection data to predict crime before it happens. Both Presidents Biden and Trump have pushed for greater use of these predictive programs to combat gun violence in communities, despite the fact that found they have not been to reduce gun violence or increase community safety. The rationale behind this fusion of widespread surveillance, behavior prediction technologies, data mining, precognitive technology, and neighborhood and family snitch programs is purportedly to enable the government takes preemptive steps to combat crime, or whatever the government has chosen to outlaw at any given time. This is pre-crime, straight out of the realm of dystopian science fiction movies such as Minority Report. Right, hey, that's what I was thinking of. That movie Minority Report. I need to go back there through the spirit and watch that. But if you brothers and sisters haven't seen it yet, check out the movie Minority Report. That's the type of things Esau Edom wants to do, because ultimately what they want to play as Yahweh Shemel Shah. And I'm gonna get to that here in a second. I'm gonna finish this up. It says, which aims to prevent crimes before they happen, but in fact, it's just another means of getting the citizenry in the government's crosshairs in order to lock down the nation. Let's see. Even social services is getting in on the action, with computer algorithms attempting to predict which households might be guilty of child abuse and neglect. See? All it takes is an AI bot flagging a household for potential neglect for a family to be investigated, found guilty, and the children placed in foster care. Mind you, potential neglect can include everything from inadequate housing to poor hygiene, but is different from physical or sexual abuse. Let me jump down here. I said there's a lot here to take in. I wanted to get this one point. Yeah, I want to get this last point right here. Now, Lord will put it in the description box. It says, one thing we do know, however, is that the system disproportionately targets poor Black families for intervention, disruption, and possibly displacement, because much of the data being used is gleaned from lower income and minority communities. See? And that's how Esau Edom gets down, man. So yeah, kind of go ahead. I got you.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 2.
That's right.
It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we know the wicked to be Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, and it says the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. So ultimately, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, all right, Esau is a high-minded individual, all right, who thinks just because he has a technology such as what the brother was going into an article, they know ultimately at the end of the day he's got it all. But what he doesn't know, persecuting the poor, who is the poor? Are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? Are you Israelites? You the true children of Israel? All right, true children of the Most High. The Most High God of the Bible. The Most High Yahweh Bashim Yashai. All right, and
Right.
ultimately says they're persecuting the poor, and like the brother was going into, this is targeted towards families of lower income, such as the black families, this, that, and the third. All right, and this is also a part of Esau's crafty counsel, all right, to get rid of the children of Israel. All right,
Hey, you made a point real quick. You made a point. Hey, just to back up who the wicked is, like I said, it's Esau Edom. Let's get the precept to back that up. Malachi 1:4. It says, "Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we shall return and build the desolate places." Right, and that's the pride of Esau. They think anything they get taken down by the Lord, that they're just gonna rise back up. Thus said the Lord of hosts, which means what? Lord of armies. Right? They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. All right.
mm-hmm.
So they're the border of wickedness. All right. So where they're at, they're the start of wickedness. All right. They started. All right. And then it says, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever, that righteous anger. All right. The Lord is against Esau Edom. Okay. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. So this is back in the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So ultimately, things and strategies and these other ideas that Esau Edom, so-called white man, is coming up with, right, to come against the children of Israel and wipe them out. Right, it's ultimately going to be turned against them, because the scripture tells us, he that touches you touches the apple of mine eye. And we know, us being part of the nation of Israel, right, we're the apple of Yahweh Bashim Yashai's eye, and when you're the apple of somebody's eye, you're a prized possession. All right, so ultimately, these devices that you're coming up with, Esau Edom, the Lord ain't letting you get away with it. All right, he's only going to let you go so far, but once you reach a certain point, all right, the Lord is going to flip, because really the Lord is letting you gear all this up so all the 2/3 can get wiped out. All right, but he's not going to let you touch his elect, because ultimately the Lord's going to let you get to the 2/3 and turn around and judge you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so go ahead, think that these devices, these laws, these unrighteous decrees that you're coming up with, all right, they're all going to be for your benefit. I keep thinking that. All right, but nah, man, the Lord got a scope on you, man. The Lord is just waiting to take that perfect shot and blow your head off.
That's
all right.
That's right. Okay, hold on. Yeah, kind of. And go ahead, read verse 8.
Verse 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Psalms 10 and 8. He sitteth in a lurking place.
Verse 7. Verse 7. Then
verse 7.
Yep.
Kind of the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
Right. Hey, right. Because that's Esau Edom right there to the T, man. All right. Because hey, he's really just there to trap you. All right. Mischief and vanities under his tongue, right? And what's that mischief that we're talking about here? Just like this, like I said, he'll do these things and set up these wicked programs, like we were just reading, for what the guys under safety. All right, for your safety, we're doing this. All right, but really, it's ultimately control and destroy. All right, the children of Israel. All right, go ahead.
Done. Verse 8 says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and in secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor.
See, right. He's in the lurking places, man, crouching down. Just the what? Just the trap that you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That's who he's after. All right, that you are the true poor. All right, because we're at the lowest of the low, man. Of the low, Yeah, we're rich in faith, but we're poor in this world, man. And it said in the secret places doth he murder the innocent, man. All right, and that's his whole goal. This is what this program is about. All right, to ultimately get you labeled as someone that's not fit for their society, man. With programs like this, And that's it on that. Unless you want to add something.
Yeah, I got some.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, and I'll begin in verse 14. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. All right. Verse 15, avoid it, pass not by it, learn from it, and pass away. So, this is the Lord, in the book of Proverbs, tell us, hey, man, and we know the wicked to be Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So the Lord sitting here like, hey, man, don't follow after, the white man, right? Because he's completely wicked, all right? Ultimately following after the way that the wicked could get you destroyed, all right? Because the scripture, the previous chapter tells us not to envy our oppressors, right? Because our oppressors, they don't they don't walk their walk according to Yahweh Bashim Yashai or according to the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, all right? They walk according to complete wickedness, all right? Verse 16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. So ultimately, that just goes to show, how much of a wicked individual Esau Edom is. All right. The so-called white man can't sleep unless he's come up with some kind of plan or formula or idea to take down these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. We know that they're constantly coming up with ideas on how to take down the children of Israel. All right. These are all efforts for Esau Edom to keep his kingdom. I believe we know that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai is only going to let him get so far because he's not going to be able to take out the whole nation of Israel. All right, just 2/3. All right. It says, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. So also we know this individual man, this white man is always indulged and involved in wickedness. All right, like the scripture saying in Isaiah 26, verse 10, let favor be shown to the wicked, for he will not learn righteousness.
Right.
All right, it's not in the so-called white man to be a righteous person. He was created to be the wicked. All right, and him being created to be the wicked, all right, he's going to play his role, all right, on that left-hand side to perfection. All right.
That's right. I got a couple real quick. Psalms 36 and Psalms 36 and Psalms 36 and 4. Get right to it. He devises mischief upon his bed. He said himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil, right? Because he's all about evil. All right, he don't want to shun away from evil. All right, because he was made to be what? The wicked. All right, so he's doing the job that the Lord set him up to be. But this man is the wicked, man. All right. They say he devises the mischief upon his bed. All right. He don't get no sleep unless he calls something to fall, like the brother was just bringing out, right? And then Micah 2:10, 2:1. This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe, which means destruction, to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands, right? And that's what Esau Edom is, man. They've been given the fatness of the earth, right? I got another precept to back that up. All right, so the Lord's telling destruction unto them, man, because they're wicked, working evil upon the beds, man. They're the ones that are pushing iniquity on the earth, man, and that's why the world has been turned upside down by this man. All right, because he's not. There's nothing upright in him, right? Let's see here. Hey, can you get that in Habakkuk 2 and 4 for me real quick? The soul is lifted up, is not right up in him. And this is Job 9 and 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, we know who the wicked was. Esau Edom, so-called white man. All right, so it was given into their hand. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Who did he cover up? All right, he changed the paintings, the true men of the Lord, man. All right, Yahweh Shai, he created him as a white man. All right, changed his name. All right, and covered the faces of all the men of the Lord, man, in their image, man, to make them look like so-called white men. All right. It says, if not, where and who is he? Right. Who else could it be but this man, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the one that's in control, man, in these last days. All right. Who's got NATO and the EU, man? All right. Who runs America? All right. The so-called white man. All right. They're the powers of the earth. Right. And then you got that for me?
God.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 4. And behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith.
Right. And whose soul is not lifted up right in him? Esau Edom, so-called white man. All right. He's not made to be right. All right. He's made to do iniquity. All right. And destroy this earth, man. He's that's why it's called what? The hammer of the whole earth, man. All right. Esau Edom, man. That's the MO, man. But it said the what?
Real quick. It says, the just shall live by faith, shall live by
Right.
his faith.
That's right. And who's that? The children of Israel, starting with the elect. All right.
Mhm.
You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. We're the just. All right. We're the true people of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right. And we're gonna what? Live by our faith, man. We went to a lesson yesterday about going into faith, man. All right. And faith is the foundation of this ministry, man. Because without faith, man, you can't please the most high. You know? And then and see, yeah, go ahead real quick.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13, verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leper his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. All right. And ultimately, the answer to those, man, no, the Ethiopian cannot change his skin, and the leper cannot change his spots. So Esau, Edom, so-called white man, being set up to do wicked, being the wicked, made to be the wicked. All right, it's not in him to be righteous. It's not in his spirit. All right, because it's not meant for him to walk according to the ways of Yahweh Shem Yashar, or just be righteous in general. All right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that's why he's got all this machine technology that he's putting himself as the most high, man, trying to pre-predict what you're gonna do, and he want to take all control of all aspects and know everything that you're doing, right? This is let's see here. This Second Thessalonians. I'll start at verse 1. Then I'll move around. Yeah, this Second Thessalonians 2:1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as the day of Hamashiach is at hand, right? So the true men of the Lord, we're not going to be shaken. We're more in a rejoicing state. We're waiting for the Yahweh Shem. We can't wait for Yahweh Shem to come back, right? All right, so don't be shaken by the things that are going to start happening, man. Because what? Revelation 12:12, man. Hey, the devil's going to come. Hey, can you get that for me out?
I had that earlier too.
Good kind of spirit, because that devil's going to come with that great wrath. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
That's right.
Most of the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
That's right. And who's that devil? Who's that deceiver? Who's that adversary? Esau, Edom, so-called white man. All right. The spiritual counterpart of who? Satan. All right. All right. They're the direct counterparts, man. They are the deceiver, man. All right. They're the one going to come down having great wrath. All right. When they're locking up you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, concentration camps, beheading people, all manner of wickedness, man. All right. And ultimately, coming with that potato chip plan, the MOC to the B. Go ahead, Amar.
This is the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. All right. We know that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai is the one who ultimately is in control of Esau Edom being in rulership, because the scripture tells us that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. The Lord sets up who's ruling the kingdom, or who's ruling over the earth and who's not. All right, now the Lord has certain a certain time limit set on Esau Edom's kingdom. There's certain limits to what Esau Edom can do. All right, now Esau Edom, all right, he's trying to exceed those limits, but we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yashai that he won't be able to. All right, so it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. That has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. All right, so ultimately, there's a limit, all right, to Esau Edom's rulership, and there's certain things that he wants to do that he won't be able to do because the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai will not allow him to do it. All right.
That's right. That's right. All right. Back to this. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first." Right. And when did that happen? Really 70 AD, then spread out that we lost our heritage. That was prophesied. I'll go ahead and get that real quick. Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. All right. And that's what happened. The children of Israel, we went totally off, and we ultimately lost our heritage. All right. But now we're gaining it back. All right. That was that falling away. So we fell away at one point, but now we've come back into the fold, right? It says the elect, might I add, they're the ones that are going to come back. All right. Not the whole nation. It says, back to Second Thessalonians 2:3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. So we had to fall away from our heritage before Yahweh Shah can come back. All right. So that's what Paul's talking about. Over there right now. And
Hey,
that,
you know, that's a good point you made. You know, us having to fall from our heritage before Yahweh Shai came back, because you know what was Yahweh Shai's purpose? All right, to come on the earth. All right, walk the perfect walk that he walked. All right, and ultimately, be that perfect sacrifice to bring back the children of Israel back into the Most High. All right, back into the heritage. All right, because the scriptures, not to get off topic, but what the brother's going into. The scriptures call Yahweh Shai the mediator between the Most High and us. Right, because the Lord, that's why you gotta worship Yahweh Shai too, man. You can't X out Yahweh Shai out the equation. All right, you just can't do that. Right, because without him, this brother and I wouldn't be sitting here doing this video epistle. All right, without Yahweh Shai, ultimately we wouldn't have this truth. All right, so you just can't X him out. All right,
that's right, brother. All right. It says back to Second Thessalonians 2:3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, man. And who's that man of sin? He's been revealed. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the son of perdition, man, son of destruction, man. All right. And how do we know? Look at his history. All right. His history shows everything. The Lord has allowed Esau Edom, through his pride, put out everything that he's done, and now he's got the longest rap sheet in history. All right. And he can't get out of it. All right. Second Thessalonians 2:4. It said, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worship, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Right. And that's this man Esau Edom, man. They think they're higher than the Lord. All right. They think, I got you on the battery. They think that they can't be touched. They think the Lord has forgotten what they've done. All right. They think they're going to rule forever. But how about Shema Shah is about to throw them down, man. And just to jump down, I'll get right to the point. And see, and just like in this article, see, that's that godlike mentality where they're trying to have their hands on everything. They want to know things. They want to be in control of you, to know what you think, what they think you're gonna do, man. Right? That's how crazy they're getting with it, man. Verse 8, which see, and they're totally so proud that they don't even realize that the Most High has given them the minds to create this type of technology. They think
you know what?
Go ahead, you guys.
See, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. All right. And the Hebrew word for that for the word heart, is going into la, meaning your mind. All right. So the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai, right, he has these demons set up on the left hand side. All right, controlling the minds, of these higher ups, of these elites. All right, to come up with these different plans, these different ideas. All right, to come against the children of Israel. All right, because ultimately the Lord has blessed Esau Edom on the left hand side, of course, with the technology, as the brother was bringing out, in the article he was reading earlier. All of this is a Yahweh Bashim Yashai, because ultimately at the end of the day, nothing goes without the sanctioning of Yahweh Bashim Yashai. All right, so we know that Esau Edom has gotten all this according to the will and according to the plan of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, not of his own will, or not of his own heart, right? But it's all according to Yahweh Bashim Yashai. All right,
that's right. And then I'm gonna jump down. This is Second Thessalonians 2:8. You're right to the point. It says, and then shall that wicked, capital W, all right, that's Esau Edom, be revealed, all right, which he's been revealed, all right? The Lord has lifted up the skirt, right? Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, all right? Who's the spirit of his mouth? How's he going to do that? Through his men of the Lord, through the prophets, all right? We're the mouthpiece of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, and Lord willing, we're some of the men, all right? All right, so that's why we're preaching the word that he put in our mouth, man. pursuant to what Ezekiel 3:17, right? It says, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Yahweh Shai and the holy angels, man, coming to knock this man off his high horse, man. All right. Verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. See, and he's backed by the spiritual demon Satan. All right. Esau Edom, right? Because it said what with all power, sign alone, and these are one of his quote unquote powers, man. That ability to try to predict what you are gonna do, all right, and give it. You know, they give all that to their machines, man. They think this technology is gonna take them to the next level, man, to that ultimate kingdom. And we know the ultimate is what that charagma, all right, that MOT to the B, all right, that potato chip. You know, those in the know what we're talking about. We just got, can't say that Revelation 13. All right, that's what we're talking about. All right, that mark,
brother.
Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say to add to your point, this is just further proves or further shows, that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has this God complex. Right, this man is trying to achieve, a state like the Most High by carnal means. Right, because ultimately, we know Esau Edom can't be like the Most High. But Esau Edom trying to track it every step, trying to predict what you're going to do before you do it. Look, bro, the Most High Yahweh already knows that. He's preordained everything. You don't have that power. I mean, we know you're trying to achieve it by carnal means, but at the end of the day, you can't. All right.
That's right. Yeah, right. This is the Lord's movie. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get a verse to back that up. This is okay. Isaiah 46:10, it says, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. All right. So this is the Lord's movie. Everything that's playing out is happening according to his script that he's written. All right. This is his movie. He's directing it, and he put all the characters in place. All right. Just like us, we're just playing our part. All right. We're Lord willing, we're the hopeful elect, and that we're fulfilling our lot to the best of our ability. All right, we pray to Yahweh that He keeps us fighting and strong in this faith, man. All right, we hope to be part of that end game, enduring to the end, so we can get those crowns. That's why we're doing this, man. There's a reward for this. All right, we're not doing this because we're bored. No, we're doing it for what? Because we heard the terror of the Lord, all right. So we were like, hey, we gotta get our stuff together, And what he said, my sheep hear my voice. So we heard the voice of the Lord, and he opened up our eyes and our ears to hear and to understand this. And to now what? Now that we've learned and understand, now we're what? Preaching and teaching this truth, all right, to the best of our ability, all right. And Lord willing, we're bringing forth fruit,
Okay.
And you got anything else? We can close out. I mean, it's not a big deal.
I can kind of bring this out because it was kind of going to that Second Thessalonians that you brought out.
Go ahead.
This is Job chapter 20 verse 4. It was kind of like going into the brightness of his coming, because ultimately we know that the Lord is coming back to take down Esau Edom's kingdom. All right. Job chapter 20 verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of Job 25, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite before a moment. All right. You know that this is going into Esau Edom, his triumphing, or that being translated to his rulership, or him being on top. All right, that's all before a moment. All right, because ultimately we know the Lord Yahweh Shai through the scriptures is soon to come back, all right, and take down Esau Edom and his wicked rulership. All right. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach into the clouds, because ultimately, Esau, he's a very, very, very high-minded individual. All right, his excellency, reaching up into the clouds. All right, because Esau Edom, has the space force. All right, which is pretty much, the Lord has put the spirit, on him to set that up, because through prophecy that Esau Edom is going to fight, our Lord Yahweh Shai and the holy angels, and they're going to miserably lose. All right. It says, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? What is your dung? All right, pretty much your dung translates to your poop. Because once you flush that down the toilet, you ain't never seen it again. All right. Likewise with Esau Edom, the so-called white man, his kingdom, because Esau Edom is destined for eternal damnation, and he's destined to be wiped out forever. All right, his kingdom is destined to be wiped out. All right, and his earth is going to be set up in righteousness. All right, forevermore. All right, first and foremost under our Lord Yahushua. All right, the King David up under him. All right, then you got the rest of the governing body following up after them. All right, and there, our Lord Yahushua, all right, they're going to rule the world in righteousness. Lord will be those joint heirs with them.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. You sparked a couple. I got a couple. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right. And Esau Edom is losing his kingdom, man. All right. Because what? Of those very things, the unrighteous dealings that he did with what? All the peace treaties that he did with the Native Americans, all the things he's done against you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. It's all coming back to quote unquote haunt him, even though it was all set up from the beginning to do this, right? Injuries and riches got by deceit, right? Because that's all they're the silver-tongued devil, man. All right, they use that master penmanship to deceive people, man. Then through their contracts and these different philosophies, all these things is why they're losing this kingdom. Matter of fact, dang, I got another one real quick to back up. Then I got another one after that. This is hold on. This is Isaiah 47:1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust." All right, and that dust was like sit in confusion, right? Who? O virgin daughter of Babylon. Who's the old virgin daughter of Babylon? Esau Edom, man. The so-called white man today, right? They're the one that's taken on the ways of Babylon, right? It says, "Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." Right. So this man, Esau, he's going to be touched, man. All right. He's been the hammer of the whole earth for all these years, for centuries. And now it's his time, man, to fall. All right. And never rise up again. All right. He ain't going to be that, like I said, tender and delicate where no one's touched him and he ain't got no wounds. Nah, the Lord is going to totally annihilate him, man. All right. It says, Isaiah 47:2. "Take the millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." Right. So now what? The Lord has ultimately totally revealed him. He can't hide from himself no more. He can no longer say, "Oh, well, I'm not Esau Edom. I'm not." I'm not this delicate, person. Nah, you are that man. You are that son of perdition. All right, you are the man of sin. You've been totally revealed. And it says what? It said, "I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man." That's right, because Yahushua is coming back. What is that angelic force, man? All right, one that you don't want to play with. All right, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming as that sheep. He's coming as a lion this time, man. Ready to devour, destroy, and tear apart this kingdom, man. All right. And then I'll reverse real quick. Isaiah 47:4. "As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel." Right. So Yahweh Shem Shah, man, is about to come and do a mighty work, man. And part of that mighty work is ultimately too destroying this kingdom and translating what? Back to the children of Israel, starting with Yahweh Shah, man, leading it, man. All right. And then I can end this on this. Did you have something?
It depends. Go ahead, read your precept.
Yeah, this second.
I may not have something.
This is second Ezra 6-9. "For Esau is the end of the world." All right, so-called white man, he's the end of this world, right? "And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." That's right. So you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, hey, we haven't lived yet. All right. Our real life is here in the very short future. All right. So when Yahushua comes back, then we will live. We will finally live what it feels like to live and be immortal, man, and live forever. All right. Because Yahweh Shem Yahshua, we're gonna get them new bodies. All right. And Lord willing, we're of those first fruits. That's what we're fighting for. Yahweh Shem Yahshua now, man. That's why we putting off the ways of this world now. All right. And you like-minded brothers and sisters, man. Hey, take heed, man. cleaving to Yahweh Shema Shai while he's still here, man. While his prophets are still on the internet, while he's still on the highways and byways, bringing out this truth. All right, did you get up having something?
Yeah, that it's just a precept to go, with the kingdom being translated.
Go ahead.
All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 17. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. All right, and what's this talking about? This is the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai, all right, executing his promise, bringing forth a new earth and a new rulership operating under righteousness. All right, that's the new heavens and the new earth. All right, because we know that the earth abideth forever. So what that means by new is I'll just grab it. I don't want to butcher it. If I'm not mistaken, it means made afresh. It says new thing, fresh. All right, so ultimately we know that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai is coming to clean up the earth, all right, and make it fresh, all right, through the destruction of Esau Edom and his wicked kingdom. All right, and we know through that or after that the Lord is going to set up a righteous kingdom, which is what the first half of the scripture is going into. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth. All right, and that's in new heavens and a new earth operating under righteousness, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. What's this talking about? All right, this talking about this current wicked kingdom that we're living in, because we're gonna be living it up so good in the kingdom of heaven that this affliction that we went through, everything we're going through right now in this wicked kingdom, everything we had to endure in this wicked kingdom, we're not even gonna be thinking about it because we're gonna be having too much fun in the kingdom of heaven, operating under righteousness. All right, verse 18. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. All right, and we know the Lord is coming back, as the scriptures say, to wipe away all tears from Jerusalem. All right, and that starts with the kingdom of heaven, because of ultimately the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai is going to change us. All right, make us perfect. All right, we'll be able to serve the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai 100%. All right, without being in the wicked flesh. All right, and ultimately these are the things that we're looking forward to, and that's going to bring joy to our hearts. All right, and like the scriptures say, according to his promise, that we look for heavens. I roughly paraphrase, wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right, so these are the things that we're looking for. But ultimately, first and foremost, Esau Edom. All right, as the brother was going in with the article, Esau Edom has to go forth with these plans and these devices. All right, in order to because ultimately before it gets better, it has to get worse. All right, so Esau Edom, man, he's got to move. All right, before before the Lord moves, all right, and destroys him. All right.
That's right. That's right. And we pray that was edifying to the body. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to sincere Akim and Akwaf, listening and learning. And to you brothers preaching and teaching this truth through the four corners of the earth. With that, Abba Babal.
Abba Babal.
Kwame Yasharala.
Kwame Yasharala.
Shalom.
Shalom.